So I know a lot of you guys have gotten new customers this month, or you even have some customers that maybe you've had in just like the most kind of like the more recent months, or you've got customers that you've had for years for some of you guys. And so we just want to go over some of the customer care tips and making sure that we are retaining the customers that we are getting. We spend all of this time, like Linda, choose like it's crazy. So we want to make sure that we're taking really good care of them and really give them the customer care. I will tell you, I have kept customers specifically because of my customer care. And if they had an issue, so for me personally, I want to handle any sort of issue that my customer is having. So maybe they get an allergy supplement and it exploded inside of their box during shipping. That happens. Sometimes the seal and the lid comes off, and next thing you know, you've just got dust all over. Not very often, but sometimes it happens. Or maybe the salmon oil is leaking. I know, Pam, you just kind of had that issue. So, one of the things that I really like to do is if there is some sort of issue that my customer is having, maybe it's their dog isn't liking something, and we've really tried to give them other solutions, and they're just like, no, my dog just doesn't really like this. I like to be get handling that and going to customer service and saying, hey, this is what my customer is dealing with. Here are the pictures of the shipping issue, or this is you know, their cat isn't liking the food. We tried mixing it with this. We tried adding that. We tried a different variety, or like, can we try a different variety? So letting just like kind of be, if you've got the time. I know some people are extremely busy. I know, Krista, you got seven puppies running around. It's like Poopville in there. But hey, if you've got some time, take the time to handle things for your customers. I will say they very much appreciate it. Like, I will send out reminders when I have an easy ship that's going to be coming up in February. 2 times a month, easy ship reminders go out and say, hey, just so you know, your order is going to be processing. Do you need to add anything? Do you need to subtract anything? Or do you need to push it off? And all the time when there's some sort of, hey, can you push it off till next month? I've got enough inventory. Or we went on vacation and we just don't need that much right now. Can you push it off a little bit? Can you edit my easy ship and make it so it's every other month? Yes, customers can go in and they can edit their easy ship. But one of the times like with talking with people, like talking with my customers, I also find out that there are times that if they go and do it themselves, they end up deleting their easy ship, which we don't want them to do. So unless they're like very savvy with the computer, a lot of times I just like to handle it for them.
All right, so I do want to add one thing to what you're saying, and it is actually kind of backing up, like it's the numbers behind backing up what you're saying. So, for instance, 90% of customers, if they have a problem, they will not come back to like a business. So 90% of customers will not come back to a business that they feel that they're having an issue or problem that they're having with a business. However, 95% of customers will come back to a business if they feel like whatever problem and or issue that they're having is being addressed or has been addressed. So think about that. 90% of customers are not going to come back if they're having a problem and it's unaddressed. 95% of people are going to come back if they feel that their problems have been addressed or are being worked through.
Yeah. Yeah, so the numbers are in your favor if you are doing the customer service. And so some of the things with the customer service is following up with them, asking them, "Hey, it's been a couple weeks. How are you liking the product?" Or, how is your dog liking the product? I like to do uh, a little like I have an automation just because I have so many customers that I've had over the years, but making sure like, okay, if you got a new customer, setting a reminder so that you know when to follow up with that person. So you can do that inside our current app. I know for sure you will be able to do that in the app that is coming, but maybe it's just something that you add into your calendar and you're like, oh, I need to follow up with Brett. Her dog was using the salmon oil, and I just want to make sure it's going well. Because sometimes people will, specifically with salmon oil, if they don't know and they just go, oh, my dog needs 4 pumps, cool, and they'll do 4 pumps of it. Well, as we know, our salmon oil is very rich, and so sometimes that can give dogs diarrhea. So they're like, oh, it gave my dog horrible diarrhea. I don't want to use that stuff. So that's where we can come in and handle that objection and say, hey, actually, what we need to do is let's stop the salmon oil. Let's get them their poop all back to a Tootsie Roll. And let's slowly add in the salmon oil over the next couple weeks and see if that helps. Our salmon oil is very potent. And so if the dog's stomach isn't used to a salmon oil, I mean, Caitlin can attest to this. Her dog was not very fond of other salmon oils, but because they worked so slowly to add it in, now his system can definitely handle our salmon oil. So just
Okay.
know, like, in, oh yeah, Brett,
Sorry, I don't know how to do the hand raise thing.
I think it's on the bottom somewhere.
I couldn't find it. Oh gosh. Now, okay. Uh, back to what you were saying with doing somebody's easy ship and all that for them. So are you like as asking these people, hey, would you like me to do it for you? And then they're just giving you your password because you can't do it unless they give you their login.
So I will screenshot the conversation and then I'll go to support and I say, hey, my customer, Brett Murphy, this is their number. They would like their easy ship pushed off. And so
Oh.
yeah, so if they just message me and they say, "Hey, can you push it off 1 month? I have enough product." Or, "Hey, I need to cancel that because I have enough product." Then I try to handle that objection of like, "Well, actually, you can push it off for like 3 months. How much product do you have?" "Oh, yeah, 3 months would be great. That will get me worked through how much I have." And then I can say, "Well, is every month too much, or would you like it every other month?" And they're like, "Every other month." So then I just take those screenshots and I'll send it, I'll go onto the website and send it to support through the chat or through email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I give them their name, their customer number, and then the screenshot so they know it's like the proof that the customer wanted it to be edited. Unless it's my mom, then I log in and change my mom's easy chip. But actually, Brett, that brings up a good point. So, some more customer care that you guys can be doing is as you guys see orders coming through in your emails that said, hey, you've got an order. I mean, how fun is that email? Like like, whoop, 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 doing a little, I hope you're doing a happy dance every time you get that, especially if it's a reoccurring one that you didn't have to work for. Let me tell you, those are the special ones. But going in and actually looking at their orders, seeing, hey, what is Linda ordering or what is Pam ordering? And if you notice that it's an easy ship order and there's only 2 items on there and they paid shipping, you can let them know, hey, if you just added in a bag of treats or a bottle of pop pairings, you'd actually get free shipping on that just to help you save a little bit of money. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize that. Or there's been a couple of customers where I see that they ordered 3 bags of our regular size dog food. Well, I know Allison, you're brand new. So one of the things that we have is so we've got regular, large, and extra large size of bags. So a large is just one 10-pound bag. An extra large a regular is one 10-pound bag. A large is two 10-pound bags, but you get a discount. And the extra large is three 10-pound bags, and you get an even bigger discount, and it's a pretty good discount there. So if I see someone that's ordering two of the small size, like of the regular, I want to let them know, hey, if you just go in and if we can always tell support to for them, hey, if you just make that a large, you're actually going to get a discount. You get the same amount of food, but you're going to get a discount because you're ordering it in the bulk option. So making sure that we're checking on our customer orders, making sure that, hey, I see that you place an order every single month. Did you realize that you're missing out on paw points? Like you could be getting free product if you had that on Easy Ship. Or hey, I see that you're only ordering two. What about adding in a couple bags of treats and you can get free shipping? And then always doing that follow up too. And so it's like some people will do 333, like 3 days after they order, 3 weeks after they order, 3 months after they order. It's whatever you guys have time for, but asking them, hey, I know you're loving the product. Would you mind giving me a testimonial? Just need a picture of your dog and how are you loving the products? And then you can make it into a cute graphic, and then you've got a testimonial from one of your own customers. You could say, hey, if you refer someone to me, I'd love for a referral. And if you are banking up your paw points, then sometimes maybe sending them a free bottle of paw pairings. Yeah, Krista.
I don't know how to do the raise hand thing either. Anyway, I wanted to just bring up real quick that Podtree, in case anyone hasn't heard it, they have discontinued the free treats for your testimony.
Yes.
So that's no longer a perk.
Yep. I'm hoping most of the time when Podtree does pull something back, and what are they saying now? Sunsetting. If they sunset a program of some sort, they almost always bring something different. Or something better. So if I had to guess, there's probably some sort of announcement that will be happening between, before at PawFest or something like that. But I will say, they were chatting about it in one of my leader chats, and so it's actually called. Where is this? There's actually a different website called Trustpilot, and having our customers put their reviews over on Trustpilot. I have not looked at that website, so I am not sure what it is, but just handling the communications that home office had wanted us to put in here. Um, that having that call to action for our customers. So and if you need help with a what I call a drip campaign of like what to send to your customers when, or even what to say, let me know. I have all of that and I can send it to you. And that way you have something to be sending to your customers. But it's just things of like, hey, how is your dog loving the salmon oil? Or are you uh, asking for the referral, asking for those testimonials, and just making sure that you're checking up on things, having them fill out a pet profile if they don't have one. When someone has a puppy, I love, especially for the breeders, this is something that I've done for another breeder, is saying, hey, I know your dog is getting older. We really recommend every 6 months or every month or so, just going in, updating the pet profile. Puppies need different food at different times. And so making sure that they're updating their pet profile once a year is always great for our older pup dogs and cats. And so again, it's just another great way of just being able to do that customer service. But then again, when we've got a sale going on, that's a great time to be reaching out, sending. Sometimes we'll have different communications that you guys can take, make it sound like you, and you can be texting it to your customers and just letting them know, hey, we have this sale going on, or we have every month we've been having a class. So this month is Dental Health Month. So definitely be letting your customers know, hey, it is a dental health month. We have this really amazing product. We've been seeing really great testimonials. Caitlin's even been seeing just in the last couple weeks of using the products. And it's getting lighter on her dog's teeth. Would you want to give it a try? And so just letting our customers know that we have these things, that we have this class they can register for. It's a completely free class. And yeah, just and answering any questions for them and handling anything for them. Does anybody else have any like tips or tricks for customer care?
Hmm. Um, One thing, not, I guess it is customer care, actually. Um, and I know I've talked about this before, I'm not sure if everybody has heard it, but now that we have plaque control, and a good thing for you guys to go do is to go into your reports and look to see which of your customers have ever ordered dental sticks and reach out to them and let them know that the dental sticks are being discontinued and we now have plaque control, which comes with a free treat.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. That is something that they did extend into this month is that whoever buys a plaque control, which Allison, I know you missed out on that. So you actually, if you order it this month, you'll actually get a free bag of treats. It's a pre-picked one that just automatically comes in with the order. So that's a really great way to incentivize people to be placing orders this month, and especially towards the end of the month. Like, hey, just so you know, if you order this month, because they don't usually extend different. Once in a while, they'll kind of say, hey, just so you know, it's extended, but they don't usually extend it. So you can. It's just kind of that FOMO. Like people don't want to miss out on a freebie. Of course, I want those free treats. Okay. Um. Anything else that you guys have for customer care or any like testimonials you have had of helping one of your customers?
I have a dog training client that I was just with yesterday, and she was the one that ordered like allergy support, gastro, maybe a bag of treats. But I hadn't seen her in a month just because the holidays and then she had surgery. And so I asked her, I meant from a training standpoint, since I was there for dog training, like how things were going. And instead, she gave me a poultry update. She didn't care that I was there to train her dog. But she was excited because they, um, sorry, I got a text message and I have like ADD. But she had been trying to figure out his allergies forever. He was on like a whole bunch of injections, antibiotics, Benadryl, and they could not figure out what was wrong with him. And so she put him on the allergy supplement, and apparently his allergy symptoms are gone. And then for GastroPro, she said she was, and I knew this is how the conversation came up. He was having like explosive diarrhea, and she would like leave the house and come home. She calls it a crime scene. And so she like never wanted to leave the house because she couldn't constantly be taking him out. And she hasn't had one of those since starting gastro. So she said he will be on gastro till the day he dies.
Yay! And probably a lifer of pottery because if they've had that good of an experience, then they're like, oh, my next dog is just going to be on gastro because I don't want to have to come home to a crime scene ever again.
Yeah.
I'm up with the pepper, Caitlin. Get on that.
Do what? You
I
said get
said sign her up. I said sign her up as a pet pro, Caitlin. Get on that. Sounds like you. No.
Yeah, getting your mom the allergy supplement for Tucker. Yeah. Yeah, the allergy supplement is for sure one of my favorite products. It's just when it works super well for a lot of dogs. So awesome. Anyone else have one that maybe you were able to save an easy ship because you followed up, or maybe they added to their easy ship because you followed up?
Yeah, I can definitely speak on that. I've had quite a few of my customers, like when you wake up in the morning and you're like all excited to go check your email, for like the easy shifts or like so I mean it's always like fun to like get those. But I woke up to or I have woken up to emails in the past of like, oh, your customer canceled their easy shift. I'm like, how the F did they cancel it at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., whatever time the easy shifts go through? Um, and most of the time, it's a card issue. So I used to have a really hard time following up with people because I get like nervous. I'm like, well, why did they cancel their easy ship? Almost always, if I wake up to an email like that, it's not actually them canceling. It's something that went wrong with their card, or for whatever reason, usually it's a card issue. It's always been a card issue. So all I do is reach out and just say, hey, not sure if you're aware, but your auto shipped in process. This happens all the time. I usually tell them that because some people are like panic. And I'm just wondering if it's a card issue because that's just what I see a lot. And most of the time they're like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, my card was compromised and I got a new one and I forgot to update my thing." Okay, great. Are you comfortable like logging in yourself and like adding it? Um, I run my neighbor's account for her, and I can't tell you how many times this has happened. I'm like, God damn it, Allison, get your shit together. My neighbor's name is Allison, not Allison on the call. Um, and so I'll just text her. I'll be like, "Hey, your auto ship didn't go through?" Question mark. And she's like, "Oh yeah, new card." And I'm like, "Okay, when you're ready, call me with it." And I do it for her. But that's a common occurrence for her. I don't know where she's shopping, but go ahead, Keelan.
I was gonna say the other thing with the easy ship follow-ups is like I had one a few months ago where she canceled it, and I've learned from Sarah to reach out when I get that email. And it had turned out her dog passed away. And so one thing that you can do is Paw Tree will actually like send a little handwritten note if a dog or a cat or whatever pet passes away. You can email support, and they like send them out once a month just to say like our condolences. And she texted me that that meant the world to her, that like our home office cared enough that even though she canceled her order and like doesn't have another pet to buy for, that they still sent her like a handwritten thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that card thing happen a few times too. So yeah, again, I always ask to, and I'll be like, "Hey, it's totally fine if you want to cancel, but I just want to make sure it's not a card issue." And yeah, it usually is. And if you message support, they'll usually give them their paw points back too,
Yep.
as long as they fix it right away. Yes,
Hmm.
I did want to add that. Thanks, Brett, because I like my neighbor. Like I said, it happens often enough, and every time support's been really good about being like, "Yeah, we'll give her your points back." For a while, it was like rocky, where support was like, "Well, we'll do it once," but so far, knock on wood, we usually get it changed before they take them away. So always just try to do it ASAP, and then of course, if you need to contact support, support really is our backup, and I have never felt the amount of support that I've ever felt from this company. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've emailed support. I'm like, "Hey, Sarah Rogers again," And I notice, like, if I'm not emailing support, I'm probably not working my business. So, like, if you guys are emailing support daily, weekly, even monthly, sometimes, things go smoothly. That's what we want, right? But there's sometimes I'm like, geez, I haven't talked to support. And that's kind of like my kick in the ass, like, hey, get to work, right? Because people have issues. Sometimes I have questions. So just kind of think about that. If you guys are not emailing support, you're probably not doing enough.
Yeah, Caitlin and I had that conversation with Amanda, her pet pro. She's like, "Why am I'm talking to support all the time?" And I was like, "Well, then you're working your business enough. If it's a question for them, or maybe it's a shipping issue, or maybe you have an address issue, or maybe it's the credit card isn't going through. Like that's your check mark." Yeah.
That's another like customer service thing too. Like if somebody comes to you and asking you a question or they have a problem, and your answer would be to contact support, is to actually just contact support for them. Like I always say, "Oh, okay, well, I'm not sure, but I'll contact support for you and let you know." And then I always put like their email address and like the CC or whatever, so that whatever conversation I'm having with support, they are getting those emails too. Um, because a lot of people they just don't like to take that extra step. They're like, "Well, no, like this shouldn't have happened. Like, why do I have to contact them?" Like, they don't like that. So that's another like customer service thing too, is to contact support for them, because that'll keep them coming back to you, that they didn't have to go through the hassle.
Yeah. Or even like my sister, she got a new cat, and so she's trying out different treats for her cat. And she bought a bag, and her cat didn't like them. And so I was like, "Hey, just no worries, contact support and they will send you a different bag of treats. The medallions are really great for cats." Well, I was at her house on like two Sundays ago, and she's like, I was like, "Oh, did you ever contact support?" And she's like, "No, it's just too much work." She has two young kids. She's a nurse. She has to work third shift sometimes. So I said, no worries. I will contact support for you. So I still have to send the email. I'm a bad sister, bad pet pro, but um, it's just like, yeah, I can email support on, and just like Brett said, CC them. And so that way the support knows that, oh, the customer has time that if I'm not saying something correctly, that they can log it, like they can reply to that email. So,
Well, and I'm one of those people, like I had something with a different company and I went to my like rep or whatever and she was like, "Well, you just need to contact support and give them this and that." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that. Just forget it."
yep, if you handle it for me, cool. If I have to do it, no thanks.
Yeah, and then yeah, and I don't think I ever bought anything from her again because I was like, no, never mind. I don't need it that badly.
Well, just like Alex said, 90% of people, if they have an issue and you don't feel like it gets solved, you didn't order again. But if she would have
Yeah.
just handled it for you, then you probably would have been like, oh, yeah, if I order something and something goes haywire, I love having that, like my person, that my go-to person that just handles it for me. Like
Hmm.
that, like almost like a VIP service, like treating your customers like a VIP customer. And how would you, if you were in their shoes, how would you want that handled? So kind of be thinking about some of those types of things. And yeah, I had someone, I had sent the cancellation, which yeah, it can be scary. Sometimes people are like, this didn't work. But that's a time where you can say, okay, well, tell me more about that. That's a really great line to remember of, well, tell me more about that. Because then it gives them the feeling of I can open up and be like, well, did this. I gave my dog Gastro Pro Plus and he got explosive diarrhea. Then you can do some education and say that's the absolute opposite of what it's supposed to do. What was going on? Because I had that happen and it turned out that her boyfriend had given the dog, I don't know, some like a big Kong or like something odd that the dog was not used to, and it was not the Gastro Pro Plus. So even though she was pretty adamant on it, I knew how our products work. Or I had one, I said, hey, you canceled your Easy Ship. What's going on? And she just said, oh, I tried to log into my account and move the date of my Easy Ship, but I couldn't figure it out. So I just canceled it. Well, I said, well, hey, no worries. When do you want it next? And she said, push it off 1 month can you also make it every other month? I said 100%. And so I handled that and just gave it to support. Easy fix. Yes, my customer can do it, but she already tried to and she canceled her easy ship. So making sure that when you get those emails that yes, communication is key, Sarah. When you get those emails, like Brett said, get a hold of them right away and see, hey, what was going on? I know, Krista, you had some apprehension from doing that, but actually sometimes it's worked out in our favors. Now, yes, I will say once in a while you might get a little grouchy person, but that's when you can always screenshot your enroller and say, oh my goodness, how do I respond to this? How do I handle this? Because I guarantee you we have already dealt with that. And we can tell you ways to skirt around it, or if they're, oh, I canceled it because my cat just didn't like it. Okay, well, if they never reached out to you, we have different ways to, how can we get a cat to like a different supplement? Okay, maybe it's crushing it up on top of the food for a dog or a cat. Maybe it's mixing it into a Kong. Maybe it's adding a little dab of peanut butter to it. We've got some tri- tri- tips and tricks up our sleeves because after 8.5 years, I can tell you, we've come up with some very creative things to get cats or dogs to eat different stuff. One was just separating the cats so that one cat ate over here and the other cat was on like a different level, and that then the cat ate the food. Like sometimes we've had to do some crazy things. Yeah, it was a stuffed cow's hoof that the boyfriend gave that dog that had the explosive diarrhea. So it definitely was not the gastro. Perfect. All right. I know we've only got a couple more minutes here. So any questions that anybody has, you can either pop them in the chat or feel free to come off mute. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for popping on tonight. It was great chatting with you guys, and I will get this recording up on YouTube so that way you guys can send it out to your teams and for anybody that couldn't watch live. And just appreciate you guys being here. It's something new that we've been starting, so excited to see some of your guys' faces. So have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.